Today we're gonna try the overlay method using soft gel tips. I had a few of you guys ask me about using polygel with soft gel, and I do that heavily. So let's go ahead and get into it. So if you're new to the overlay method, it's basically when you apply the nail tip a little bit before the cuticle instead of right on the cuticle. So just like it's demonstrated here. And then you fill that gap in with the gel of your choice, which helps the nails last a little bit longer. I'm using polygel today, but you can also use builder gel, or you can use the gel glue that you use during application to fill in that gap. And I can show you guys how to do that in a different video, but today we're going to focus on polygel with the overlay method. The polygel is by Macart, and Macart is my absolute go-to brand when it comes to polygel. And for the soft gel extensions, of course, we're going to be using glazed soft gel tips. I have my glazed kit here, which has everything that I need to do soft gel. We have the soft gel tips here, dehydrator, primer, tip glue, and top coat. So these tips are already long stiletto, but I'm thinking maybe more of an almond shape for today's video. I have a more detailed video about prepping, but right now I'm gonna go ahead and push back my cuticles, remove the shine from my natural nail by buffing it out. Go in with my dehydrator and then primer. We're gonna go ahead and find the tip that fits our nails. Make sure it fits from sidewall to sidewall. And I like to buff out the inside of the tip and also add primer so my nail set can last up to 4 weeks. And now I'm just gonna go ahead and get out my handy dandy nail lamp, plug it in, set it right there. And we can go ahead and apply our nail tip with some gel glue. Now for the overlay method, what I'm gonna do is apply the tip further away from the cuticle than I would normally. So first I'm gonna go ahead and put my gel glue on the inside of the tip here. And I normally would apply it a little bit closer to the cuticle, but this time we're gonna come maybe right here with it. We're gonna stop pressing it as soon as the glue reaches the free edge of your natural nail, and go ahead and cure. We're gonna leave that under there for 60 seconds, and this is how it should look. With the overlay method, once we put the polygel on, of course, it's gonna fill that little gap in, but we do have to go ahead and file that down right there, just so the nail can blend a little bit better. I'm gonna put my drill at 3000 RPM, very low. It does not need to be high at all, especially when you're working around the cuticle area, but we're just gonna get around that cuticle to blend it in, and you can go around the sides as well. To smooth and file down the top part of this nail tip, I'm going to use a tapered barrel diamond bit with a medium grit. This one is from Kiara Sky, and I'm just doing this for a seamless look. And there is the after everything is filed down and flush. And it won't hurt just to get a little bit of acetone on your brush and just wipe around there, just to blend and melt that tip a little bit more. And I'm gonna go ahead and start shaping. I got my handy dandy magnets here. It's just gonna make sure that I get the same length every time on every single nail. And I'm thinking to cut it down just to right there. Whoa. I want an almond shape, so I am just gonna take off the corners. And I would normally do this with my nail scissors, but I have no clue where they are. So I'm just gonna cut off the corners just like that. And I'm just gonna go ahead and file. This file has a grit of 150. So first, I'm just gonna come underneath and file that point straight. already did it on this side. But then you wanna go in and get that free edge rounded out. And kind of go back and forth with it. And then eventually you will get your almond shape. That is about good right there. Yep, that's pretty good. With soft gel extensions, I usually don't buff out the actual nail tip because I don't feel like I need to. But since we're applying polygel to the nail tip, I'm going to buff out the nail tip with this sanding band so the polygel can adhere to a coarse surface or tacky surface. Sometimes if you apply polygel to a smooth surface, it's easy to come off. So yeah, just want to make sure that doesn't happen. And now I'm just going to buff it out with a buffer. So I finished my shaping and this is how they look on all of the nails. But now we can add our overlay. So I'm using my card for the polygel. This one is called Love Struck. And as you can see, I have used a good bit of it. And I feel like that's kind of where I want to go for my base color. Now, Macar has slip solution, which you can find on their site. Slip solution is going to be the liquid that you need to apply polygel. You can find it on Macar or Amazon, but I do not have any slip solution left, and I haven't bought any since I ran out. So I have honestly just been using alcohol. So here I have Swipe from Young Nails, and it has alcohol in it, and it works with polygel. So I have just been using this. This is my go-to brush for polygel. I got it from, I think, Shein. But I want to start with laying it on the nail just like that. I'm just going to work on kind of patting it down in the middle. Bringing it down to the sides. I like doing polygel application in sections, so I'm going to start with the bottom half of the nail, applying the polygel to the bottom half, and then I'm going to cure that, and then I'm going to work on applying the polygel to the cuticle area next. But now I'm just smoothing out the polygel with my brush, bringing all of the excess polygel to the free edge of the nail. And then you can get that excess off of the edge. Honestly, I'm gonna pick it back up and put it over here because it's kind of thin on this side. I have not cured the polygel yet. What I'm doing is taking a little bit more polygel and I'm just patting it in the area that I want it to blend into. And the more I pat it, the more it blends right on in. I like to blend with the wet brush. So as I'm doing it, I'm also dipping my brush into some more of that alcohol if I feel like my brush is a little bit too dry. And then once you get it all nice and smooth out to your liking, you can go ahead and cure it. All right, and I'm gonna go ahead and cure that for 60 seconds. And after curing, now we got to fill in that cuticle area. I'm gonna put the polygel, we don't need that much, so just a little bit, but right before the cuticle, just like that. Get the brush and pat it down nice and flat. And I like to go ahead and kind of bring it over to the sides and then kind of pat and push it up towards the cuticle area. And this will fill in the gap between the nail tip and my natural nail. And then we can go ahead and blend in this middle piece right here. And this polygel always blends so nicely. And I like to check from the side to see where my apex is. And that is honestly looking pretty good. I want to go ahead and cure that. I like to start with a little bit of polygel and add more as I go if I feel like I need more. I don't think we need more here. So after curing, we're good to go to start shaping. Okay, so I'm done applying the polygel. I'm just gonna take some of that swipe. Had a lot on there. But I'm just gonna rub down each nail, and this takes away that sticky surface so the nail won't be so sticky. So I'm gonna take an 80 grit file. This one is by Not Polish. And I'm just gonna go in and sharpen this up a bit. We're gonna go in on the sides and just kind of file the way we were filing before. This time I'm just lightly doing it just to make it a little crisp. And then I'm just gonna go in on both sides, just like filing down. So we're gonna file down a little bit over here on the left side, and then on the right, we're gonna file up in that motion. And then I'm just gonna go down the middle, just a little bit. So here's how it looks all filed, and it looks really good. Here is a side view of it, and from the side view you can get a good look at the apex. And now I'm just going to take the same tapered bit that we used before, and I'm going to go around the cuticle area just to smooth it out. If there's any excess polygel, this will be a good time to go ahead and drill that off. And I'm going to get my buffer and just buff everything out. And after I washed my hands, this is how it looks. And honestly, from here, you can leave it just like this and put a top coat over it, and you'd be done at that point. But if you would like to add any extra nail designs, this would be the time to do it right after you buff and wash your hands. I wanted to try out a nail design that I saw on Instagram, so I'm not gonna leave it just plain. I'm gonna take some cat eye gel polish. This one is from Model Ones, and it kind of reminds you of like a rose gold type color, so I thought it would go well with the pink. I'm going to start off my first little squiggly section, that's what I'm going to call it, and fill this in, and then take the magnet and go ahead and get that cat eye effect going in that one section. I kind of just played around with it until I was satisfied, and then I'm going to go ahead and cure it. I just cured it for 30 seconds. And then I'm gonna start with the next squiggly section right next to the one I just made, well, the one I just cured, and do the same thing, fill it in, and get my magnet so we can try to get the cat eye effect that we want. Now I'm using the picture and the video that I saw on Instagram as inspiration. I'm not really doing it exactly the way the creator did it on Instagram, and I'm probably regretting that right now because I think the way the person did it on Instagram looks a little better. But I just wanted to play around with the design to see what I would come up with and how it would look, and this is what I came up with. And I'm not liking it as much as I liked it in my head, let's just say that. But this is how it looks. Good thing this video was mainly about overlay and not a nail design, because I think I kind of failed at the nail design. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video about overlay using polygel. And if you guys would like me to do another video showing you how to do overlay using the gel glue that comes with the soft gel kit, let me know down in the comments. I'll probably do a video on that anyways. But thank you so much for watching. If you watched this far, if you have not done so already, make sure you go check out the Glaze soft gel kit. I have the link for it in the description down below, and I will see you guys same place, same time in my next video.